Hello, farmers, and welcome to another fantastic episode of the harvest season. My name is Rochelle.
And you can call me Al.
Oh, and we're here today to talk about farming games.
Yay!
Woo!
I'm just trying out some new stuff because...
Are you feeling self-conscious about your woos?
I just, I don't think yay is any better. I think if anything, it sounds more sarcastic.
Look, I'm not here to judge. I am here to support you through this journey of figuring out your exclamation of excitement identity. We're going to figure it out. It's going to be fine. I believe in you.
We can do this.
Yeah.
All right.
So this week's going to be a short and sweet and easy week. It's going to be a little more streamlined than the past few weeks. We're going to, I don't know, do we even have feedback to hit? It's not been very long.
No.
Insider baseball. We are recording this very soon after the last episode, very far ahead of time because spoilers? Do I need to put spoilers on my vacations? Spoiler, I'm going on vacation.
Is this just in case someone hears this before they, I don't know, see your tweets?
I don't know. Look, I don't.
You got a story planned out for your tweets about your trip.
I guess so. So spoilers for my fan fiction about my vacation during which I'm going to be writing fan fiction. I'm going on vacation. So when this comes out, I will be in the UK somewhere as you're listening to this in the future. So we're recording super early. And we're going to make this small because I get on a plane in a few days and I have a lot of things I need to do.
Yeah. But of course, we've already made the mistake of saying that it's going to be short. Therefore, it's not going to be short. That's how it works, yeah.
What? No. We'll see. Challenge accepted. Did we have any feedback?
No.
Cool. That's fine, considering we haven't even put out the last episode we recorded yet.
No, that's going out tomorrow.
Yes. Tomorrow from recording, not when you're listening. Can you imagine that? They get the poor listeners get to this episode and they're like, wait, the last episode is coming out tomorrow? I'm so good. What is this, time travel?
Our tomorrow, when you hear this, it will have been out 2 weeks before. So don't get excited.
Don't get excited.
Podcast time traveling is confusing.
It's confusing. All you need to know is that for you, it's always exactly the same.
Except when it's not.
Why? You're going to curse us. So rather than cursing us, is there anything exciting you've been playing this past week?
Well, that's a good question. You'd think it would be a simple answer, but time is complicated and my brain is confused. But I think I've mostly just been playing Forager the last week. I mean, you heard in the last episode, I'm a little bit obsessed with it, so I just can't stop. Are
you obsessed to the same degree? I think so. Is it getting more boring as time goes on?
I think it's the perfect game for me. It does this great thing where you start to kind of get a bit bored of things and start to feel things get a bit samey. It unlocks another automation thing to speed something else up, or there's a new challenge, or there's a new thing. It just keeps throwing things at me just as I'm about to get bored of what I'm currently on, which is really good. That's
fantastic. You found your game and I'm so happy for you.
There's only one game for me.
You found the game that you're going to play for the rest of your life.
Forever.
Just that one. You want to know what game I'm going to play for the rest of my life? Just that one?
Yes.
Since the last time we recorded, I don't remember if in that episode I said where I was in Zombies Run. It doesn't matter anymore. I'm caught up on Zombies Run. I am so deep down this rabbit hole. I had so much to do this weekend, Al. And do you know what I did instead?
You played Zombies Run.
I think I had a 3-day weekend. I think I did 15 hours of Zombies Run.
The real problem with that is you deliberately played this game because it was passive. You didn't have to actively play it, and you could just play it when you went out for your walks. Has it now... I mean, I know this is kind of why the game was designed like it is. Has it made you go out for more walks just to play it?
Yes.
Thereby wasting more time.
I went on a walk twice yesterday.
This has completely backfired on you, because this was not why you started playing it.
You don't understand. I need you to understand how serious I am when I say this. I think this is my favorite game ever. I think I love this game more than any game I've ever played.
That's quite a bold claim.
I'm so deep in it. In addition to the 15 hours of walking and playing Zombies Run, I spent a few hours writing like 25 pages of fan fiction, and then a couple hours like browsing Tumblr and looking at fan art and reading headcanons of people. I am so deep down this rabbit hole, you don't even know. I think I might need help.
Well, I mean, I don't really know what to say.
You're just like, are
Congratulations,
you okay? Or congrats? Do I need to stage an intervention? Like, it's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. I love this game, and I'm very upset about the beginning of season 8. That's all you need to know.
Say
we're moving
the beginning,
on.
The middle, and the end.
I mean, honestly, I could find something. Oh my gosh, there's so much to be upset about. Oh my gosh, I love this game. Anyway, we're going to keep going. So that's what we've been playing?
Yeah.
So, A+ transition.
Speaking of what we've been playing, today we're going to talk about things we've not been playing.
Because we don't have them yet.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about games that we're looking forward to. But where's the news? There's no news. There's no news. It's been a week.
Although there probably will have been news by the time you listen to this.
Please don't add us about missing news. We're recording 3 weeks early?
No, just
100 weeks, 2 weeks early?
Just 2 weeks early.
100 weeks. It's been 50 years since we recorded this episode. So
now I kind of feel like we're not allowed to release this episode for 50 years.
Don't worry. We can release it.
Play the long game.
We can release it, and then in 50 years, when we're definitely still going, we can re-release it as a throwback, and then give the news for today. Whatever came out on the day this came out. Perfect. So we're going to talk about some games we're looking forward to. Quick, easy, something I don't have to do a lot of research for right before my vacation. Normally,
I like giving kind of background to these things. Normally, our show notes document before we record is 2, 3, sometimes 4 pages long. This is half a page. It's just a list of names of games, basically.
Half a page, really stretched, including the few lines where we had a competition on who could name the same games faster than the other one. I don't know if that's a good description of what happened. That is not what happened at all. I don't know. It was great.
We were on the phone and still having conversations in our Google Doc. That's all it really is. It's as weird as it sounds.
Insider Baseball, we're A+ professional podcasters. So, you want to take turns?
Yes. Do you want me to go first then?
I would love you to go first.
Well, one of the games that I'm really looking forward to is Summer in Mara.
Same.
I think what excites me most about it is I don't think I've played a farming game yet where you can ride in a boat to other islands, and I like that.
I'm a big fan of islands. I'm a big fan of boats. I'm a big fan of the ocean. Did you know that?
I have heard, yes. That's why you live so close to it.
Would you like some salt to pour in that wound?
Sea salt.
For those who don't know, I live in Colorado in the United States. I could not be further over from the ocean if I tried, and it hurts my soul every day.
Whereas I live about 200 meters from the sea.
Would you like some more sea salt to rub in that wound?
I cross the sea every day to get to work. Well, it's technically a river, but it's so wide at this point that it's basically the sea.
I cross a highway every day to get to work, I guess. Anyway, so Summer in Mara. I'm super excited about this game. I think this was the one where you're taking care of your own little island, you're farming and crafting things and going to new islands and meeting characters and finding treasure, and it looks fantastic and wonderful and amazing.
And farming underwater.
That's just so cool. So I think my favorite part of this so far is like the art and the character designs.
Yeah.
They're so cool.
It's interesting because there's basically, as far as I can see, like only one human character, the playable character, and everyone else is like not human. But they still do a really good job of kind of humanizing the characters. And I mean, I'm not looking at them just now, so I'm going by memory, but I remember there's quite a lot of, they're not all basically the same character. Like there's a lot of kind of, I don't want to use the word diversity because I don't think that will probably be the right word in this context.
They all have very distinctive, independent designs from each other. And they all have a lot of personality and character to them. And I love them, and I want to play this game. I'm so excited for this game. Like, you don't even know. That was your first game. Definitely not my first game.
Yes, that's my first game.
That was my third game.
What's your first game then?
My first game is Ooblets, of course, the game that was practically made for me. I feel like we're so close to Ooblets. I don't remember when it was supposed to come out.
I don't think they've got a release date.
I don't know if I feel like it's close because I just want it to come out badly, or I like passively absorb some information somewhere. Probably that I want it to come out so badly. So Ooblets was the one that's like Pokemon meets Animal Crossing meets farming games, where you're farming, but instead of farming crops, you farm adorable little creatures. And then you go around your town and you have dance-offs with your tiny creatures. And I am so excited about this.
Yeah. I think this one particularly, each of the Ooblet characters feels so well thought out. And I mean, we basically said this about the last game as well, but they all have so much character and you don't feel like any of them are in there as filler.
Mm-hmm. I am a huge sucker for good character design, so that's probably a theme to a lot of the things I play. But all the little Ooblets are so cute, and they're so fun, and they have so much personality to them, and I love them. And I want them, and I want to hug them. These are the kind of things I would buy plushes of, put on my plush shelf with my Pokemon. You have a whole shelf with Pokemon.
I also think that the animations for the playable character is just, they're so real. Like
Mm-hmm.
I empathize.
Empathize? Your empathy.
I empathize so much with all of the animations. Have you know, like the one where you're basically sleeping while walking around because you're so tired?
Yes.
Is just so real.
That is the biggest mood I've ever felt in my life.
I love it.
It's so good. The aesthetics of this game are so pretty. Like, I love them. I love the colors. I love the character designs. I love everything about this game. I'm so excited for this game.
It's so happy.
It's so happy and wonderful and warm and fuzzy, and that's everything I want out of a game.
Yeah.
What's your next game?
My next game is Ooblets.
This is what I'm saying. This cannot possibly be too long because most of our lists are the same.
What's your next game?
My next game is Rune Factory. I'm a huge fan of the Rune Factory series. I think it's my favorite farming series, maybe. So the Rune Factory series started out as Rune Factory, a Fantasy Harvest Moon. There's 4 of them. The 4th is getting remastered for the Switch soon, and then there's going to be a 5th one coming not too long. I'm very excited. They're a very fun mix of like farming game meets kind of like JRPG dungeon crawlery kind of stuff. I'm excited for you to play a Rune Factory game. We'll see how that goes. I don't think we know anything about Rune Factory 5 yet.
I think we know it's coming out in 2020, but I think that's it.
Yeah, I think that's all we know, which is fine. I'm excited for the fourth one. Every one kind of has like a gimmick. Like the main premise of the first one is that you are what's called an earthmate, so you can like really communicate with the earth and creatures and understand things. And you just kind of like show up with amnesia and get tricked into starting a farm, and then you end up like exploring this little world and the politics of it, the mysteries of it. Pretty plain and simple. This is a very horrible short description. But then like the second one has a gimmick where like it's essentially the same. You show up to you're a different character in a different town. You show up, you have amnesia, you start a farm. It has a really interesting mechanic where when you get married and have a kid, your original character like abandons your family and then you play as your kid for a while.
Okay.
And it's like traumatizing. Like there's a cutscene and everything, and your kid is like, wait, you can't leave mom/dad. And it's like, oh no, my heart.
Wow.
What is going? And then the third one, the gimmick is that you can turn into a monster because you're half monster, essentially, basically. That one's wild. And the fourth one, which is the one coming out on Switch, is you, in the beginning of the game, you're on a mission, but you get knocked out of a flying airship and you lose your memory. This is every single game. You start with amnesia. This is Rune Factory tradition. And then you get mistaken for like the royalty that has come to rule the town, essentially. And so you get tricked into like being the prince or princess of the town, and you have to like build up the town and host festivals and stuff. And that's kind of your gimmick as you go along as well. And you're hanging out with your dragon friend and going on adventures and saving magical people. It's a whole plot line.
Sounds fun.
It's fun. I like it a lot. It has a nice balance of like farming and like, I don't know, beating up monsters, I guess. I'm excited. I'm excited for another Rune Factory. I'm excited to play Rune Factory 4 again.
I am mildly looking forward to seeing what it's all about.
It's going to be great. You're going to be so mildly satisfied with it.
I am the expert in being mildly satisfied with things.
And I wouldn't have it any other way.
I mean, mild satisfaction for me is a good thing, right? You know, I don't give out praise easily.
You know, I'm going to say this just to reinforce how serious I am when I say how obsessed I am with Zombies Run. I am not really an aggressive fan of things. Like, most things that I like, I'm just like, I enjoy this. And if I never saw it again, I might be mildly disappointed, but it would not be end of the world. You know what I mean? Like, I don't get very aggressive into like fandoms or anything like that. But very rare occasion, I just like, my two modes are 15% and 500%. Like, when I'm really into something, I'm really, really, really into it. But for the most part, I'm not. So I kind of understand just like the mild satisfaction of enjoying something.
Yeah. It's funny. So, my friend Gavin, who I go to most films at the cinema with, you know, we see all the Avengers films together and stuff like that. He gets really frustrated with me when we walk out the cinema because he's like, what do you think? What do you think? And I was like, yeah, it was good. I think I need to process that a little bit. And he's just like, how can you not be like overexcited about it and just like, oh, that was amazing? And I'm like, yeah, I enjoyed it. Like, you know, I actively enjoyed it. Like, I don't really know what else to say. I can't, like, pretend to be more visibly enthusiastic about something.
Yeah.
It takes a lot for me to do that. I'm much more easy to get annoyed at something and rant about something. But, yeah, I enjoy things. I can just enjoy something without having to be very flamboyant about it. But that's not a problem. Like, there's nothing wrong with being flamboyant about something either.
It doesn't...
It's just not me.
It doesn't have to be your absolute most favorite thing in the world for you to enjoy something. And I think that's a very underrated thing.
Agreed.
Did you know I've seen 3 superhero movies ever?
Only 3? Which ones? Is it Spider-Man, Spider-Man 2, and Spider-Man 3?
No. I've seen Black Panther.
Good choice.
Thor 3, but only the third one.
That's Ragnarok, yeah.
Yes.
Also a good choice.
But not the first 2, which was fine. I figured it out on the fly.
Yeah.
And I've seen the first 3/4 of Captain Marvel.
Okay, you have to explain why only the first 3/4.
So I was definitely 100% legally watching it online, and the definitely 100% legal copy I was watching online definitely 100% stopped an hour and a half in. And
Right.
I was like, that was nice. I guess I'll see it sometime eventually.
Yeah, I do think that if I were to say that there, you know, if someone were to say to me, look, I want to watch three superhero films, and it's only 3, and I don't want something that has too many ties into other things, but I'm okay with like a few bits and pieces. Like if you explain to me who this person is or why these people are here, then that's enough, but not something ridiculously big. I think those 3 would probably be pretty high up there in terms of what I would suggest people would watch, because they're all very good standalone films. There's not a huge amount you need explained to them. I think Thor Ragnarok is probably the one that needs most explanation, but let's be honest, most people know who Thor and Hulk are. They don't need much explanation for that. I enjoyed all 3 of those films.
Sorry for the cricketune cry in the background. My phone's going off. It's too far away. I can't silence it.
It's okay, I can't hear it.
But yeah, no, I did just fine watching Thor Ragnarok. I figured it out. I knew what was going on vaguely enough to understand and enjoy the movie.
Yeah,
I did walk out, and my little brother, who I went and saw it because I was just like, I just want to spend a day with my little brother, and he was like, I want to go see this movie, and I was like, I would love to see a movie with you. You're my favorite little brother. He's also my only little brother, but
just making that clear.
And we came out and he was like, oh, I really enjoyed that. I was like, yeah, I liked it. It was pretty good. I was a bit confused in the beginning, but that's fine. And he was like, you were confused in the beginning? I was like, yeah, that's the first Thor movie I've ever seen. And he's like, why did you go to the third Thor movie with me when you hadn't seen the first 2?
I mean, it's definitely the best Thor film.
I enjoyed it. I liked it a lot.
But yeah, I think the problem is that, you know, kind of more the bigger Marvel films are, realistically, you have to have watched most of the others to get them. Like if you're going to watch Infinity War or Endgame, you kind of have to have watched at least some of the other ones to kind of care about anything, because there's no setup in these films at all about who these people are, because they can't. There are too many people. They can't set them up. And that's fine, because it's not designed as just like a standalone story. It's the end of a long arc, whereas those 3 films are standalone
they're basically
stories.
Making a very long, very high budget television series with very long episodes. Yeah. And the ones I've seen / enjoyed were the standalone filler episodes. It was great. Yeah, I think I would certainly consider those 3 in my top 10 Marvel films. Cool.
Yeah.
I've got good taste, I guess.
This is Rochelle and Al talk about superhero films.
Woo. My favorite superhero is Sailor Moon. I'm going to go with Sailor Moon.
You know,
Sailor
I don't
Moon's-
actually know much about Sailor Moon.
I wish you could see my face right now. It's fine.
I get you to say that every episode. It's great. Every episode, there's something that either shocks or saddens or excites Rochelle, and she has to say, I wish you could see my face right now. It's just going to be your catchphrase on this podcast.
So. I like Sailor Moon a lot. This is a farming games podcast. All right, let's go. What's next on your list?
What's next on my list is Littlewood. I'm very excited about Littlewood, especially now that it's coming to Switch, because there's something about it that it's got that really lovely Game Boy-esque feel to it, which, you know, I've talked before about how kind of your big modern 3D, all singing, all dancing games can feel a bit meh sometimes to me, and it takes a like perfect game to really get me kind of grasped into those ones. And realistically, out of those types of big, trying to be kind of like these 3D massive immersive worlds, I think the only one that's really grabbed me is Breath of the Wild. And that was just because the controls were just so fluid and so perfect, and like the combat style was just amazing, and it needs to be that perfect to get me. Because otherwise I just feel pulled out of it, which is why nowadays I'm feeling a lot more drawn to the simple 2D style games, and I love how Littlewood takes kind of a style from, you know, the original Game Boy and Game Boy Advance time, but it's much more modern as well. Like, it doesn't feel old, it doesn't feel creaky, it doesn't feel bad, and a lot of the things that we don't like about Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games now are kind of quality of life things that you can absolutely improve nowadays. But the style, I still feel I just love the sprites. It doesn't have to feel old. It doesn't have to feel creaky. It can be fresh and modern, but still have the same style, if that makes sense.
I agree. I'm very excited for this. I really enjoy the premise that, like, because the premise of the game is, in all these big RPG games, your whole game is saving the world. What happens after you save the world? After you save the world, you go make a little town in a cute little style, and it's adorable and fun. Like, I just kind of like love the premise of that. Like, you don't need to save anything. You don't need to stress about anything. You just rebuild your little town and live with your friends. And I think that's so charming.
And you can wear a chicken on your head.
Yes, you can. The most important part.
Not? And it comes out in June on Steam. I don't think we have a release date for Switch yet, but it comes out on Steam in June.
By the time people listen to this, well, my next thing on my list was...
I was just going to say, what's your next game?
It was Mara, which we already talked about. Do you want to talk about Story of Seasons?
Well, my next game is Doraemon Story of Seasons. I think this excites me because... So I really like how they go about making Story of Seasons games. And although Trio of Towns is not one of my favourite games, the reasons why it's not one of my favourite games are they look like all of those kind of reasons are addressed in this new game.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Trio of Towns went too 3D, if that makes sense, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's an amount of 3D you can go to add to the game and it feels really good, but then you go a little bit further and it gets a little bit awkward in, you know, where things actually are. And because it's not this 2D where you have awkwardness in terms of like, oh, these trees are in my way and I can't kind of see around them and stuff like that. And Trio of Towns definitely goes through a lot of that. There's a lot of kind of weirdness in terms of boundaries of where stairs are. There's like these invisible boundaries at stairs that you can't jump through, which kind of breaks the immersion a bit. And I feel like looking at the videos, it looks like Doraemon Story of Seasons goes a bit slightly further back. But I think that will be a lot better because it will be a lot more polished, in my opinion. I guess that's the main thing.
What I am learning about you is that you just have a preference for 2D games.
I don't think that's true. I think I like both 2D and 3D games, but I think it's harder to do a 3D game well. I think if every game was like Breath of the Wild, I would absolutely love them. But it's not hard to make it awkward.
I'm not saying you can't like them. Like, just because you have a preference doesn't mean you can't. I, like, prefer, like, I don't know. What do I prefer?
Well, I think it's probably important to say that Breath of the Wild, I think, is one of my favorite games ever. Like, it's not that I'm not fighting you saying that I have a preference for 2D games because I think it's bad. I think I don't actually have a preference for 2D games. I have a preference for games that feel nice and smooth, and it's really hard to do that on a 3D game. And it's really easy to make it really bad. Whereas I think it's a lot easier to do...
but that's what I'm saying. Like, you have a preference because, like, why I'm saying I think you have a preference is because I could think of a bunch of 3D games that I enjoy just fine, that I don't think are bad because of the effects of 3D. I think we just have different bars for that. You know what I mean? Like, it's just that more games that you like happen to be 2D for whatever reasons. It's okay. I can prefer vanilla ice cream but still enjoy strawberry.
I think we're arguing over semantics. But
that's what we do.
I still disagree with your wording. I don't have a preference for 2D games. Just because there are more games that I like that are 2D games doesn't mean... I think the thing is that saying I have a preference for 2D games implies to me that there's... And I don't mean this in a bad way, but implies that there's almost a bias towards them in that I'm more likely to like a 2D game. But I don't think that's true. I just think it's easier to make a good 2D game. Therefore, there are more good 2D games. Therefore, if I'm going to play a lot of games, there will end up being more 2D games that I like purely because they're easier to make good. But we're definitely arguing over semantics, so we can...
Okay. We're 100% arguing over semantics.
Anyway. And the other exciting thing about Doraemon Story of Seasons is the demo has come out in Japan. So there's obviously a lot more information come out about the game, which again we'll link to Fogu about that because they have a decent chunk of information. And if you can speak Japanese, you can, because the Switch is not region locked, you can add a Japanese eShop account to your console and download the demo if you wish.
Do it.
Yes.
Enjoy. I cannot because I can't speak Japanese, but...
I'm tempted to do it anyway just to see what it looks like on my Switch.
You know what? I would love you to do that.
I will do that then.
Perfect. Let me know how it goes.
I will, in multiple weeks.
In multiple weeks. Speaking of 2D and 3D, it's my only mild attempt at a transition this week. I'm very, very excited for the game Snacko.
So am I.
Which it's supposed to be coming out in 2021, so we got a while, right?
Oh, I didn't actually realize they'd ever said something like that.
Yeah, it's on the website.
Is it?
Snacko is currently under development with a tentative release year of 2021.
Well, there you go. I did not know that.
This game is so cute. It's got a 3D world, and you're like a little 2D character, kind of Paper Mario style. You're a little cat, and you're farming and building a little town and getting villagers to move into your... my heart. I love this. It is so cute.
And it's also got the best domain.
Snackoland. It's so good.
I don't see the date. Where do you see the date?
What is Snacko? ? At the end of that section.
Oh, there we go. Snacko is currently under development with the tentative release year of 2021.
That is exactly what I said.
It is exactly what you said. It's almost like you're looking at it right now.
It's almost like I read it word for word off of the website.
Yeah, I love... There's something about the kind of... You mentioned Paper Mario, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
There's something about that which is... It's not completely unheard of in games, but it's not really that common in games. But it's such a weird style. It shouldn't really work combining those two art styles, but it really does. I really like it.
It's so cute. I just find that style to be just very aesthetically pleasing, I think. And I mean, most games, I think, if you're going to have a mix of the 2D, 3D, usually it's the opposite way around.
Yeah.
Usually you have 3D characters on a 2D background. Rune Factory is like that.
Yeah.
But it looks really, really good.
I also like how with this one, you similarly to Littlewood, you're kind of building up the whole town rather than just your own farm. I know a lot of farming games have you can help improve these buildings or something, but that's very different from I want to make this exactly how I want, because those tend to be kind of linear story driven things instead.
Mm-hmm.
And I like this idea of you have a much bigger sandbox to play with, and also you start up this island, right? So you're alone, and then you invite other people to come live on the island as well, which is quite cool.
You're making your own little kitty cat paradise. I love this.
Yeah.
I love this so much. And then your little character is so cute. You're this little black cat. Oh, my heart.
Yeah,
so
it's just a little bit
game.
Unfortunate what the cat's name is.
I don't know what the cat's name is.
The cat's name is Momo.
Momo, that's cute. Fight me. We're not going to talk about the Momo challenge. That is so dumb. People freaking out over...
I agree.
Oh, I hate it so much. Anyway, I am fine with reclaiming Momo. Momo's a cute name. We're gonna put that behind us.
Oh man, a second episode in a row where we've got a 15-minute long political rant in the middle of it. Good fun.
Humans are the worst.
If you want to hear our political rants, subscribe to our Patreon.
We're going to put this out and people are going to be like, what's the Patreon? And we're like, there is none. I'm sorry. You can blame Rochelle for this. This is Rochelle's fault. I will accept responsibility for that.
We've done more than 10 episodes now.
I guess. Okay. We'll get some transition music and make a Patreon. I guess.
Yeah, we need some transition music. Pay us to pay Nick. He doesn't want paid, but we want to pay him.
I very badly want to pay Nick.
Yep. Well, we've already paid Micah.
We're gonna get there.
Good fun, right? Yes. Snacko looks good. That's also my next one.
Perfect.
But I only put it in the list because I completely forgot about it until it was on your list, and I went, of course, Snacko. It's great.
I want you to know that I literally went through all of our show notes from every episode because I was like, what is the one with the cute little cat? I can't remember the name. That's the research I did for this episode.
Yeah, that's a lot more than I did. I just went, oh, what games? And I just wrote down some games. And that's how I came up with them. So I'll probably finish recording and go, oh no, what about this game? But, oh well. So tell me, Rochelle, you've got 4 games on your list there. Ooblets, Rune Factory, Mara, and Snacko. If you could only get one of those 4 games, which would you get?
Ooblets.
Oh wow, that was quick. Like, there was no thought there. That was just an automatic reaction.
I knew the answer. In order, I would probably do Ooblets, Mara, Rune Factory, and Snacko.
Interesting order. Mara above Rune Factory?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I have a history with Rune Factory. I know what I'm expecting with Rune Factory. It's kind of like I can be excited for the next Pokemon game, but deep down I understand that it's going to be exactly like the last Pokemon game.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, you know what you're getting out of it. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. like I want it, I'm excited for it, but I'm not through the roof for it because it's more of the same of something, which is not bad. Like, I want that.
But if you had a choice between that and something new, you're probably more likely to take the something new.
Yes. What about you?
I think I would probably say Littlewood. So I think Ooblets is probably the one I'm most excited about. But it's also, I feel like Ooblets is either going to grab me massively and I will get sucked into it, or not. And I feel like the risk of me not enjoying it is much higher. I'm still going to buy it. I'm still going to play it. And I won't regret buying it even if I don't get sucked into it, because it's an amazing game and I want to support the devs with what they're doing. But I think that there's a much higher chance that I would really enjoy Littlewood, if that makes sense. Similarly, I think Summer in Mara, I think will have the same thing as Ooblets. I think I will either get really sucked into it or not really play it at all. And the risk is higher. Doraemon Story Seasons, I probably know what I'm getting out of that. So I'd probably enjoy that. But again, similarly to you, I think Littlewood is probably the most different, but also the highest chance of me liking it. Combined those two, I think that would be the one if I could only have one of those games.
I am also excited for Littlewood. I didn't put it on my list though, because you'd already put it on your list, and I figured I can't have more than half of my list overlap with your list. So there's that. I'm excited. So
there are lots of games. There are more games as well. These are just the ones that we're most excited about. There are lots of other ones that we've talked about previously and ones that we haven't talked about that at some point I'm just going to pop into our show notes and Rochelle will be like, oh, I guess we can talk about that then.
It's going to be great.
We have a fortnightly fight about how much is in our news section. So
we'll see who wins in the end. In the meantime,
I think you know it's going to be me.
We'll see. I have plans. Dun, dun, dun. In the meantime, let us know what games you're excited about. Tell us things that we talked about, we didn't talk about, why you like things. Please tell me your favorite Zombie Run character.
Tell us if you'd pay to hear our political rants. Or just support us.
And you can do that by tweeting us at THSPod.
That stands for the Harvest Season Podcast.
Yeah.
Just in case it wasn't clear. I mean, I know you know that, Rochelle. I wasn't explaining for your benefit. I think you came up with the name.
I did. I spent a lot of time trying to work out the name of that account, actually. Darn character limits. Or you can email us at our website, harvestseason.club.
It's the Harvest Season Club.
Yeah. You can ask Al for his political opinions.
Yeah. I will always give you political opinions, although I will try it and do it on my second Twitter account so as not to depress people all the time.
At?
You
have to tell them where to find you.
Well, my main one is the Scottbot, Scott with one T. But if you want to talk politics, it's Angry Scottbot. Just switch out the for angry.
And if you want to ask me about my Pokemon or Zombies Run opinions, you can find me at Miss Delaney with 2 L's in Delaney. Good thing I only have that. Imagine if I had to explain to people how to spell Rochelle as well. Like, oh.
Well, I was just thinking the 2 L's weren't going to be in Miss, were they?
I mean, Mill Delaney, I guess. Look.
No, just 2 silent L's. It's still just Miss, but there are 2 silent L's in it. MILISLS.
Of course, Miss. You could tweet about me about farming games or Pokemon games or Animal Crossing, which we hope is announced at E3, or Zombies Run.
Is this our last episode before E3? When's E3?
I think it is. E3 is
the 11th to the 14th.
Yeah, E3 will be happening while I'm in your land.
1, 2. Yeah, okay. Yeah, no, this episode will come out in the middle of E3. So maybe there's some exciting farming games information that has come out from somewhere, and we don't know about it. You'll hear about it in 2 weeks' time.
I know a Pokemon Direct is coming up, so visit my Twitter. I'll probably cry over a Pokemon and then remind everybody about how much I love Sam Yow. So
you might sob over Sobble.
Part of me was like, I'm so obsessed with Zombies Run, I need to make a podcast. But then I was like, literally, it would just be like every episode is like 13 to 48 minutes of me just sobbing.
I like how you think you have the time for it as well.
Right? Like,
it's hard enough to get this one done.
I am an emotional wreck. Oh my gosh. I love this game. This has been definitely farming games with Rochelle. So
nice short episode.
Nice short episode. I'm probably having fun in Scotland right now. If not,
no,
I'll let you know.
The 12th, you were going down to England at that point, weren't you?
How come you know my itinerary better than I do? Oh my gosh. Okay, I'll be leaving Scotland.
Doesn't
right
at all sound creepy, does it? Well, actually, Rochelle, your train is at 12 minutes past 3.
Aha! But you're wrong because we're renting a car.
That's true. There aren't many train stations there.
I don't know. I think we considered getting a train, and I don't know why we decided not to do the train because I had checked out by that point, because at that point it had become clear to me that no matter what my opinion was, it didn't matter. So
we got off topic again.
Damn.
We were so close. We were so close to being able to go to bed, and then we just went on a discussion about trains and cars and...
All right. So...
Thank you for listening, and until next time, keep farming.
Have a good harvest.
Oh, that's what it is. Have a good harvest.
The Harvest Season is created by Rochelle Delaney and Al McKinley. Our art is done by Micah the Brave, and our music is done by Nick Burgess. Feel free to visit our website, theharvestseason.club, for show notes, including links to things we discussed and transcripts for every episode. Thanks for listening.
Did you see my food escapades today?
No.
I had a bagel dog.
What?
Which bit?
What?
A bagel dog.
Okay.
It's a hot dog and a bagel.
Okay, that's what I was imagining, but I was like, look, I got like 3 hours of sleep.